Next on ACC Live, 94 feet, 8 miles, and the best rivalry in college basketball, Duke and Carolina tonight. Plus, I talked to one of the greats to ever play for Duke, Christian Laettner, about the memories of his matchups against the Tar Heels. And
here it is. You can't teach that. You can't teach that. You can't teach that high-rising ability.
It's time to add a little Vinsanity to Dunkuary. But will Vince Carter make our Sweet 16? You'll decide. Who is he dunking against? That's on ACC Live Access starting now. Welcome to ACC Live Access. Today we give you access to the best rivalry in college basketball, North Carolina and Duke. They go at it tonight in Durham. We break down this rivalry from all kinds of angles, including I talked to Christian Laettner. We even have a special Duke-Carolina Dunkuary dunk-off. And the Cameron craziness started last night. Check this out. The manager's game between Carolina and Duke tied final seconds. Duke with the ball. Graham Bohovic from the corner for the win. They stormed the court at Cameron for the manager's game. 55-52 Blue Devils. That's how big this rivalry is. These two schools have given us some of the most memorable moments in college basketball history. It is the 235th meeting all time. They've all been emotional. Some have been incredible. For every Jeff Capel buzzer beater to force an overtime, there's been Jerry Stackhouse in overtime. 1974, Carolina scores 8 points in 17 miraculous seconds. 5 years later, the Tar Heels, they didn't score in an entire half. For every Danny Green over Greg Paulus, there's been Chris Duhon going coast to coast. Everyone knows this one is big.
The uniqueness is how close we are. But I think if they were in Asheville, North Carolina, and we were here and they had the same records, I think the rivalry would still be tremendous. So I will say the past history, the success, the fact that there are a lot of basketball players that get it down to North Carolina and Duke, and there's a lot of students that get it down to North Carolina and Duke.
I look at it as the next game, but it's just, look, that doesn't devalue the game. I look at every game that we want to win. Why would I look at any game less? How could you be prepared to play North Carolina in this big game if you haven't tried to be your best in every other game? I don't understand that. When it's not me making less of the rivalry or whatever. We want to play great every game.
I've always wanted to play in this game ever since I've been a kid, growing up a Tar Heel fan. So I'm really excited to go in there and hopefully we can play really well and get a win.
I probably start realizing that it means a lot to people around like 9th, 10th grade. Everybody, around this time, everybody was talking about the Carolina versus Duke game, and people just pride their seasons, and fans just pride their seasons on the Carolina-Duke matchup. So I just know that it just means a lot to fans and players on both teams.
Carolina leads the all-time series, 132 wins for them, 102 wins for Duke. Amid all of the history, let's not lose track of how big this game is for these two schools. Duke is battling for a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. The Blue Devils are 21-2. The Tar Heels are 16-7. ESPN's latest bracket projection has the Tar Heels as an 11 seed, so really one of the last teams in the tournament. Hoops fans everywhere are buzzing about tonight's game. So are Tar Heel and Blue Devil greats like Christian Laettner. I'm ready for the Duke-UNC game now. Who's with me? It's Kay's birthday. That's right. Today is Mike Krzyzewski's birthday. And again, I will be talking to Christian Laettner in just a couple of minutes. Kendall Marshall. Today's a holiday in the Triangle area. That's how big it is. That's for sure. How about John Shire? Duke-UNC in Cameron tonight. Does it get any better than that? He has great memories at Cameron. And Duke Blue Planet, the Duke basketball Twitter feed. Average ticket price to attend Duke-UNC on Wednesday, over $1,100 on secondary ticket market, and this is absolutely true. It's the toughest regular season ticket in sports. Now, in honor of the Carolina-Duke rivalry, we've decided to give you a special Dunkuary gift. We have an extra dunk matchup today. It's a Tar Heel versus a Blue Devil. This is day 3 of Dunkuary, or Dunkuary 3rd. Here's what you need to know about Dunkuary for the next couple of weeks. 2 great dunks from every ACC school go head-to-head. Plus today, I'm giving you the Duke-North Carolina matchup as a bonus. The winner of this one today gets one of the 4 at-large bids. In every matchup, whichever dunk gets the most votes from you moves on to the next round. On February 27th, we release our 16 dunk bracket. Just like the big dance, we'll go round by round, and on March 11th, on the week of the men's NCAA tournament, we announce the winner. You have no right to complain if you don't vote. You can vote on Twitter, on YouTube. The links to the dunks are also on the ACC Facebook page. So it's time for the Duke dunk versus the North Carolina dunk. This is one of the 4 at-large berths, and I, the High Prince of Dunkuary, will choose the other 3. So let's go back to the 1990s for both of these. First, the great Grant Hill. Yes, Grant Hill, he's still playing in the NBA, and this dunk was against the Tar Heels the year 1992. He flies in on Eric Montross. Take that 7-footer. Grant Hill, the huge slam. And that is one of the nominees today for an at-large bid. Grant Hill. Do you vote for him? If you want to, vote right now. Tweet us, say Grant Hill with a hashtag Dunkuary right now at our Twitter feed. Now, the other dunk for our Carolina dunk. 2 words. Vince Carter. This was 1996 against Clemson. Watch.
Looks like Carolina really trying to exploit.
Oh, my! The inbound pass from Calabria.
Now watch this, just right off the inbounds. One hand, catches and bores. Here's the slam cam. Great view here. Ooh.
That's filthy. But so was Grant Hill's. So you need to start voting right now. Duke and Carolina fans, you can't let your team lose. Tweet Hill or Carter to @theACCDan or give a thumbs up to the YouTube video we have on the ACC Digital Network channel. You've already been voting for the best dunk in Boston College and Clemson history. The Duke-Carolina dunk-off is a bonus. We'll do our next school in just a couple of minutes. And since we're going in alphabetical order, and since you got a fine ACC school education, you know the next school up is Duke. 2 more phenomenal Duke dunks go face-to-face. One, the oldest dunk in the competition. The other will make you want to do push-ups. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes here on ACC Live. How close is this rivalry? In the Coach K era, Duke has won 37 times and North Carolina has won 37 times. Some of the most bitter physical games in the past 30 years were in the late 80s and early 90s, and the one player who loomed largest in those days was Duke's Christian Laettner.
Christian Laettner, he's got another one.
That's just an unbelievable weapon. I mean, are you kidding me?
That's why he's the National Player of the Year. Laettner has now hit 20 of his last 29 three-point attempts. He has been on a tear. How about Laettner? How nice is that move?
And joining me now to talk about tonight's big game between Carolina and Duke great Christian Laettner. Christian, thank you for joining us. First thing, let's go back through your years in the rivalry. Is there one game that stands out for you when you were playing at Duke?
Yes, I always remember my sophomore year. No, I'm sorry, it was my freshman year. Carolina came into Cameron and just kicked our butts. And then I remember our sophomore year, Bobby Hurley was a freshman and King Rice was the point guard for Carolina. And King Rice was just getting the better of Bobby all game and trying to taunt him and big boy him a little bit. And I had to step between those two a little bit because I think Bobby was going to get physical with him. But it's just the best matchup in college basketball, if you ask me. I mean, think about the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Celtics and the Lakers. I think the nation and college basketball and basketball as a whole looks forward to the Duke-Carolina game so much every year. And sometimes they play 3 times a year, regular season and in the ACC tournament. So it just makes for a great environment.
I know one of the great games you played in was that '89 ACC title game. You talk about 3 times a year, very physical. You talked about another game that got physical. That's one of my memories of especially some of your matchups with North Carolina. It got physical the year Eric Montross was bleeding everywhere.
Yeah, well, there was a few years there where they had Montross and Salvadori and a lot of fouls to use that on me. And there was times where I had to protect myself and bring my elbows out a little bit. But Montross is so good and so big, you got to kind of play physical with him because if you don't, he's just going to eat you up.
Now, some people might not know, sure you ended up at Duke, but I think you also were thinking about going to Carolina, right? How did you make that decision?
Well, of course, there's a lot of guys like me who almost went to Carolina and decided on Duke or vice versa. And I know Grant Hill was really close to going to Carolina and decided on Duke at the last second. So it's just because they're both such great basketball programs, such great history and tradition. They're powerhouses. And it's just whether you like Carolina's style of playing and their coaches a little more, or if you like Duke's style of playing. And when I decided to go to Duke, it was just because Coach K was younger. He wasn't quite at the top. He was getting there. And I wanted to help him, get his first championship.
You talk about Coach K. Today is his birthday. I'm guessing you guys in the middle of February weren't having a candles on top of a cake at practice every year.
You'd be surprised. There was maybe 2 years out of my 4 where we were not doing that, and then there might have been 2 years where things were going really good. He was happy with us, and he might have had us over to his house. And his wife always makes chocolate chip brownie cookies, which I really love. So we would go over there, and I'm sure there was a few times where we had a birthday party for him.
Christian, I know now you're still in touch with a lot of Duke fans and alumni. In fact, I think while most of us will be watching basketball nonstop, you're actually going to go skiing, right, with some Duke alumni?
Well, March Madness is coming up, and it's going to really hurt being heli skiing from March 7th through the 10th because I might miss some basketball games, but I just want everyone to know about the fantasy heli ski weekend that I set up with Heli Tracks out in Colorado. Come skiing with me for 3 days from, like I said, March 7th through the 10th. We'll eat some meals together, eat lunch out on the slopes. We'll ski untouched powder, champagne powder, the fluffiest powder in the world, and we'll have a great time skiing. So if you're an intermediate level skier or above, and you want to try heli skiing, or you've done it before and you know you love it, come join me and we'll have a great weekend.
Christian Laettner, the only player to start in 4 Final Fours, 2 national titles with the Duke Blue Devils. Thanks very much for taking a few minutes with us.
That go to LaettnerBball.com if you want to see all the ski info. Thank you.
There you go. Christian Laettner, thanks again.
You're welcome.
Now, Christian and I are not done. You'll have to check back later in on our YouTube channel. He'll talk about what it's like playing for Coach K, and he has a unique perspective on Michael Jordan as we get closer to Jordan's 50th birthday. Laettner was the lone college player on the incredible '92 Dream Team with Jordan, Barkley, Magic, Bird, and more. I asked him what it's like being the kid on the team. That's later today on the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday. Up next, more on the Duke-Carolina rivalry. From Austin Rivers last year to the days of no three-point line and no freshmen, we remember great moments, including 2 greats who I work with every week, J.R. Reed and Mike Jaminski.
When I think of this rivalry, the word that comes to my mind is passion,
intensity,
hatred.
This rivalry is about respect,
physicality,
all-out effort,
rivalry,
lifetime memories.
Out with the old and in with the delicious. Commit to bold taste with the new Flavor Resolutions menu at Ruby Tuesday. 10 entrees starting at $9.99. Try our savory barbecue brushed ribs and bacon wrapped shrimp. Or take it up a notch by adding coconut-crusted shrimp to our mango salsa-topped Caribbean chicken. Plus, enjoy our endless garden bar, free with any chef-inspired entree. Ruby Tuesday. It's all good here. Start the new year with savings. Visit rubytuesday.com today for a $5 coupon.
What's better, bigger or smaller?
Bigger!
So which would you rather have, a big treehouse or a small treehouse?
If it's big enough, you can have a disco. Oh, yeah.
Why do you not want a smaller treehouse?
Because it wouldn't be able to fit a flat screen TV, and then the TV would be about this big, and you would have to hold the wire. In the position you would hold the wire, you wouldn't be able to see the TV.
That's a pain in the buns.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not complicated. Bigger is better, and AT&T has the nation's largest 4G network.
The ACC Digital Network, the ultimate video destination for ACC fans. Exclusive highlights, live streaming games, and original live programming, unique access to the student athletes of our time and the legendary voices of all time. Defining moments, personal stories, incredible analysis from authentic ACC sources, cutting-edge content from the leaders in the digital space. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
Good afternoon, Chase Sapphire. This is Daisy from Springfield.
Oh,
Hello?
Yes, I didn't realize you'd be talking to an actual person.
You don't need to press 0. I'm here.
Reach a person, not a prompt, whenever you call Chase Sapphire.
This Dunk of the Day brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
Well, in the total 6, and then they throw it down. That'll make you speechless. Well, look, no pressure on the ball, and Mitchell just sneaks behind the defense. It all begins with pressure on the ball.
Share the love this Valentine's with a free dessert when you make reservations on RubyTuesday.com.
That was Akeel Mitchell last night. What's the best dunk in Virginia history? Soon you will be able to decide. It's all part of Dunkuary. Welcome back to ACC Live. I'm Jeff Fischel. We will have Virginia and some Maryland news coming up. For Dunkuary, though, we're choosing the best dunk in the history of every ACC school. Then they'll go against each other to decide the best dunk in ACC history. We've been going in alphabetical order. Boston College, Clemson. A few minutes ago, I gave you the bonus, Carolina versus Duke. But let's get back to going school by school. It's now time for Duke. What is the best dunk in Blue Devil history? Let's get right to the matchup. In this corner, the year is 2003. The man is Dahntay Jones.
Good gracious alive! Jones on the inbound, trying to beat it. Good gracious alive! And he and Vanderlaan go sprawling. Oh, man! That is incredible. Where did he take off from? Oh, my goodness, look at this. Oh, what? Man, I don't know what this is. That is phenomenal.
Do not underestimate the push-up. Style points can definitely make the difference. I love that dunk. But does Duke have one that was even better? You can vote for that one right now on our Twitter feed. You can vote Dahntay Jones. Or you can wait just a second and go back to 1980, the oldest dunk we have in Dunkuary. It's also the dunk over the tallest defender in all of Dunkuary. So pull up your striped socks, put on your Chuck Taylors, give me some Gene Banks. That's right, the year is 1980. Gene Banks is going up strong against Ralph Sampson, 7'4" Ralph Sampson, and right in his face. That is a monster jam from Gene Banks. That deserves some recognition here in the month of Dunkuary. So it is very tough. Dahntay Jones versus Gene Banks. I'm torn, but you're the ones who decide. You vote. You determine the winner. Tweet Jones or Banks with the hashtag Dunkuary, or watch the dunks on our YouTube channel and give a thumbs up to the one you like. You can also tell us which dunk you liked when you find the matchup on the ACC Facebook page. We will tally the votes, and in 2 weeks, we'll reveal our 16-team dunk bracket. It's time for headlines from across the conference. Here's what's happening in the ACC now. Joe Harris and the Virginia Cavaliers are now 8-3 in the ACC after a dominant 73-55 win over in-state rival Virginia Tech. Harris had 26 points, a career high last night. The nation's leading scorer, the Hokies' Eric Green, had 22. Maryland is honoring legendary coach Lefty Driesell with a bronze bas-relief sculpture. I think that's the first time I've ever gotten to say bas-relief on a show. Driesell will also be honored at the Terps home game versus Clemson next Saturday. The sculpture will be unveiled in April. Duke Carolina isn't the only rivalry game tonight. It's Miami and Florida State. For the Hurricanes, every game is a chance to prove they deserve a #1 seed in March Madness. Congrats to the North Carolina women's tennis team. They are now #1 in the country after winning the National Indoor Championships. They defeated UCLA in a thrilling final 4-3. In all, 6 ACC teams are in the women's top 25 poll. And one more note, Duke Carolina is not just huge in basketball. Last night, the rivalry hit the wrestling mat. North Carolina won 24-13. The Tar Heels are 7-6. The Blue Devils are 7-7. Congrats to the Tar Heels. And that is the ACC now. Right now, somewhere in Durham, maybe, just maybe, Coach K is blowing out candles on that birthday cake. Okay, maybe not. But today, it's his birthday, number 66. Tonight will be the 12th time he's coached a game on his birthday. Overall, he's 7-4 on birthdays. Most of those against Maryland and Wake Forest. 3-0 against the Terps. But the Demon Deacons, you guys are not invited to his birthday party. Do you hear me? 1-4 on his birthday against Wake. This will be the first time he's gone against Carolina on his birthday. We here at the ACC Digital Network are not taking sides at all tonight in the big game, but we do hope Coach K has a great 66th birthday. This friendly programming reminder, tomorrow night, Women's Hoops, it streams live right here on the ACC-DN. 5th-ranked Duke at Virginia Tech, 7 Eastern. Watch all the action live. It's really our Valentine to you. Tonight, I will be here in the studios of the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday, tweeting during the Duke-Carolina game. I'll also have highlights of that one for you as soon as it's over, as well as Miami, Florida State, and Wake Boston College. And remember, vote. Vote for the best dunk in Duke history, the best dunk in Clemson history, the best dunk in Boston College history, plus the gift I gave to you. Duke, Carolina, Grant Hill versus Vince Carter. You vote. The winner gets an at-large berth. Tweet at the ACCDN with your vote. Tweet me, Jeff Fischel, with any Dunkuary comments or questions. Now, when it comes to Duke, Carolina, too much is never enough. So here, to close the show, is a look back on some of the great moments ever in the rivalry. See you tomorrow at noon again for ACC Live.
Put it up. 1 second. Capel shot. And good. Tim, you got a foul. You cannot allow the man to have that shot. Do you believe it?
Kupchak will make the long front-court pass. Gets it to Walter Davis. 2-1. Walter takes the shot. Unbelievable!
Comes Ricky again. Dunkuary, look at the Wackos, they love it. Little one-on-one move, dish inside. Swicker missed the shot. Tip good. Tip good. Calabria gets free and tips it in. He's going to penetrate and kick it. They got the open shot. There it is. Oh, Carolina wins. Carolina wins. Carolina wins. McCaffrey. Decision by McCaffrey.
Stackhouse streaking in on Park. Reverse dunk. Oh my goodness, what a dunk by Stackhouse.
And they've intercepted it. Ricky's got the ball. That's it. The Blue Devils have won it. Oh, you can't teach that. You can't teach that. You can't teach that high-rising ability.
3 seconds. They are going to get a shot on. Bad job, and the clock runs out. What was Felton thinking? Here's too high. End to end. The Blue Devils do it again. Great ball game by both teams here.
Laettner. Rebound, Carolina. It's over.
Gets him right back in for another rebound. Watch out. He took a shot to the face.
That one is no good. They battle for it. Loose ball. Recovered Marvin. He scored. 17-second clip.
Now the second one. He'll miss it. Off to the side. Carter couldn't do it. Loose. Scrambling on the ball. Goes over. Duke wins it.
He'll try to step back with 1 second. Let's fly. Got it! The Blue Devils win it overtime.